name is Svetlana. I want to tell you about my life. When I gave birth to my daughter Veronica, I gained 20 kilograms. Since then my life started to change for the worse. Sasha and I lived in a common law marriage. Everything was fine until I gave birth to my daughter. After that, it was as if Sasha was just replaced. He started making fun of me and insulting me. He called me fat, stupid, a chicken, a pig. I could not understand what was going on and tried with all my might to lose weight. But I couldn't do anything. And then I found out that Sasha had a mistress, and he was trying with all his might to make me leave the apartment. He didn't even try to hide the fact that he had another woman. He would call and text his mistress in front of me. I had no one to complain to. I grew up in an orphanage. And then Sasha even started hating me. Sasha was especially angry when our daughter started crying, and I couldn't calm her down right away. Then she started teething, and in general she started sleeping very badly at night and cried a lot. One day he came into the room where our baby was crying and said, "Either you make her shut up, or I'll throw you both out of my house." And so it happened. It's been many years, and I still remember that day as if it had happened to me yesterday. It was winter outside and it was nighttime. I was standing alone in the street with a baby in my arms. I had time to dress Veronica, but I only had time to put on a light jacket and boots. My husband just kicked us out of the apartment. I had nowhere to go. I only had 500 rubles in my pocket. I didn't know what to do. And then I found a way out. I went to the hospital where I had worked before I met Sasha. I was lucky. Just in time for the shift was a nurse I knew. She let me spend the night at the hospital. In the morning I went to the pawn shop and deposited my gold jewelry there. A ring, a thin gold bracelet, and earrings. I didn't get much money for them, about 10,000 rubles. I found a grandmother on the outskirts of town who was willing to rent me a place for half that amount. Grandma Masha turned out to be a very good and kind woman. She loved children very much and took great pleasure and joy in taking care of my daughter. While she was with my daughter, I was looking for a job. I could only get a job in a cafe as a dishwasher. In the evenings I also washed the floors in a nearby restaurant. It was a hard job. We had to wash the floors in winter with cold water. The owner was greedy and saved a lot on electricity. In my free time, I knitted children's things. Hats, socks, scarves, and tried to sell them at the market. But people bought my things very badly. It was very difficult to live. My daughter and I were malnourished. I often didn't get enough sleep. I lost 20 kilos in weight. I did not have enough money. I tried to buy clothes at least for my daughter. And then I was lucky. I met Katerina and thanks to her my life changed. I cleaned Katerina's house, and she took pity on me and took me in as her personal assistant. I sent letters, made coffee, cleaned. She paid me a good salary. When my daughter grew up and I was able to put her in kindergarten, I went to school. I also worked at the same time. I finished a good computer course, then I finished an English course. I started to work part-time. I did translations and minor computer work. I started making good money and was able to fulfill my dream. I was able to go to college and study law. I will not tell you about how hard it was for me to study. But I did not give up, and I succeeded. Now I am one of the best lawyers in our city. I bought a nice apartment. I have a car. My daughter and I often go on vacation. We really like France and Italy. I never thought that one day I would be able to achieve such success. But this is reality. My daughter and I do not forget Grandma Masha. She helped us a lot in her time. We buy her medicine and food. And we bring expensive gifts to Katerina every time we go abroad. And just recently I got a man. He owns the biggest meat packing plant in our town. And so my daughter and I consulted and decided to buy a dacha. We quickly found a suitable option. There was a nice house for sale in the country. The owners had great financial difficulties and they needed money immediately. My daughter and I went to see the house. When the door opened, I was stunned. My ex-husband was looking at me and next to him was some huge woman. You couldn't even call her a woman. Just some kind of bombshell. This woman must have weighed 150 kilograms. My ex-husband, of course, recognized me immediately. He looked very bad. It was obvious that he had started drinking heavily. His clothes weren't very good. When he saw me and recognized me, he just went numb with amazement. I looked very good. I had become slim and was dressed in a very fashionable and stylish way. I so wanted to tell my ex-husband what I thought of him. But I decided not to humiliate myself in front of him or embarrass myself in front of my daughter. I just turned around and left. And I told my daughter that I didn't like the house. And that's how my life was. My ex-husband went bankrupt and left me broke. And my daughter and I are doing great.